Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Ghosts and another episode of KEM Strike Saturday, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in KEM Strikes. This one was sent in by a guy named The Friendly Machine, who has been on one other episode of KEM Strike Saturday, making him a returning guest. But he's making a return here, letting you guys know, hey, I'm still alive. Remember me? I'm that guy from that one video, that one episode of KEM Strike Saturday. I'm still running around. I still got games. I still got skills. Look at me. I'm running around playing Drop Zone on Strike Zone using the CBJ, and I'm actually getting myself a KEM Strike. And the CBJ itself, man, is a very underused gun. So underused that we never see it here in KEM Strike Saturday. Have we ever actually had a CBJ-MS KEM Strike on KEM Strike Saturday? Ever? I'm not sure we have. I'm thinking we probably have. I'm not 100% sure. But I think we might have. Maybe not, though. This might be the first. I don't know. Regardless, this is a freaking awesome KEM Strike. So what we got going on here is a match of Drop Zone on the map Strike Zone, which is a kind of a tongue twister. We're playing Drop Zone on Strike Zone, and we're running around with the CBJ-MS, the most underused submachine gun in Call of Duty Ghost. And for good reason, because the gun itself is kind of bad. To me, it reminds me of a newer version of an Uzi. Like, it could be an Uzi, it could be a mini Uzi, whatever game we're talking about. Regardless, it reminds me a lot of an Uzi. Kind of a high fire rate, kind of a low damage, kind of difficult to control the recoil at times, especially kind of like a moderate to a medium distance, you know. I think it's that kind of weapon for me, and I've tried it out here in Ghosts, as I've tried out every single gun, and it just isn't for me. It just really isn't. I just don't like it that much. I like the way it looks, but in the way it plays, I'm just like, I don't really like the way it performs a whole lot. So it's definitely an underused gun. It's kind of like regarded as being the worst gun in Call of Duty Ghosts, or at least one of the worst primaries, and for that reason, it's kind of a sought-after KEM Strike that people go for to try and get this, because people want to see, hey, we all kind of recognize this as being one of the worst guns in the game. Let's see if somebody can get a KEM Strike with it. And so that's what we end up getting here with this video, playing Drop Zone. You guys know how Drop Zone's played, and we've done so many videos on Strike Zone. Drop Zone's basically, there's an objective, both teams are fighting for the objective, and you should run around towards that objective and kill the people off the objective. And that's the whole point of Strike Zone, or Drop Zone. See, Strike Zone, Drop Zone, it's messing me up. But the perks we're using for this video, let's start talking about those. We're using kind of a weird combination of perks, in my opinion. So we're using Stalker, which you guys all know allows you to aim down sight to then strafe faster while you're aiming down sight. And it's usually recommended to use that on things like marksman rifles, use that on things like assault rifles and light machine guns. Not too often you see that on a submachine gun. But then maybe you want to use it if you were to be aiming down sight pretty frequently with your submachine gun. But then we also have steady aim. So you've got the perk that benefits you, when you're aiming down sight. And you also have another perk that benefits you if you're hip firing. I guess it's kind of like a jack of all trades class, regardless of his situation. If he's aiming down sights, whether he's hip firing, he's got the best possible perks to be able to help him out with that situation. So maybe it's a good combination. I don't know. It's just one I don't usually see. It's very rare you actually see people using Stalker on a submachine gun. We've got Scavenger, which if you're debating on Scavenger versus fully loaded, see, Scavenger versus fully loaded, you should definitely use Scavenger on submachine guns or on weapons that you move your ground pretty frequently. If you're using fully loaded, you should use that on something like an assault rifle, a light machine gun, something that allows you to kind of sit back and pick people off. Because if you're using a submachine gun, what's the point of having like all the maximum ammo right from the start? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because if you're using a submachine gun, typically you're moving around and you're going to be running over scavenger packs anyway. You might as well run Scavenger, that way you can continuously grab ammo, whereas with fully loaded, there's a set amount of ammo that you can get. And so it's definitely beneficial to use fully loaded if you're using like an assault rifle or a light machine gun. You definitely want Scavenger if you're using a submachine gun or a shotgun, or I don't know why you'd use it on a shotgun, but if you're using something that would allow you to move around a lot more, definitely run Scavenger. Next up, we have ICU, which is a pretty underused perk, in my opinion. It's a perk that a lot of people are like, oh my god, the perk's going to be so overpowered. Because think about it, it's a perk that allows you to regen your health faster. A lot of people thought going into Ghost that it was going to be, a perk that everyone used all the time, which there's always these perks where people have like tons of speculation. Like, I remember going into Modern Warfare 3. I remember looking at the Blast Shield perk. Blast Shield, if you guys don't know, in Modern Warfare 3 allowed you to take reduced explosive damage, so it's kind of like Flak Jacket. And Blast Shield Pro in that game allowed you to take reduced effects from like stun grenades and flash grenades. So it's basically like taking Tac Mask and Flak Jacket from Black Ops, which was a game that was out prior to Modern Warfare 3 at the time. It allowed you to basically take both those perks and put it into one perk. You know, we all thought, like me especially, was like, dude, I'm always going to run Blast Shield. That is the greatest perk. It takes the 2 best perks from Black Ops and makes them 1 perk. It's going to be so great. And then it turned out Blast Shield and Modern Warfare 3 sucked. And that's kind of like what I think people did with the ICU. Like, everyone's like, oh, ICU is going to be so ridiculously overpowered. And then people used it and they're like, it benefits you, but it's not like anything like we thought it would be. And so now people rarely use it. But still, it's a very nice perk because in Call of Duty Ghosts, with how quick the time to kill is, you're going to want to be at full health as much as possible when you're going into a gunfight. If you go into a gunfight against someone that has full health and you have not full health, you're probably going to lose that, even if you're used a better gun, even if you've got the better aim. It's just simply you die too quick in this game. So ICU can help you out with that. And then, of course, we have Focus, which, of course, is like the best freaking perk in the history of freaking any game ever. Like, you look at Toughness from Black Ops 2, you look at Hardened Pro back in Black Ops, I think the Focus Proficiency back during Modern Warfare 3, and, of course, you look at the Focus perk here in Call of Duty Ghosts. They're all just freaking amazing. Recommend them on everything. Just so freaking good. Definitely use it. Makes it so you could win so many gunfights. It's just a very, very powerful perk. But the Chem Strike itself, we're actually going to be wrapping up here relatively shortly. It's actually kind of a longer Chem Strike. There it is, though. Given like the time that it took him to get the entire Chem Strike, it was longer than what we usually get here on Chem Strike Saturday. But overall, it was still a very fast Chem Strike overall, and I definitely thought it was pretty nice to see somebody using the CBJ-MS, which once again, one of the most underused guns in like the history of freaking ever. But look at the score, guys. His team's not really helping him out a whole lot here. He was in pursuit of the Chem Strike. Let's not try and paint over this. He could have tried to play the objective a bit harder, and maybe his team would have won as a result of that. But he did end up getting the Chem Strike. It was pretty nice, and I always felt as though Drop Zone was one of the game modes. It's almost like a party game mode in a way. But of course, I always like to see people try and win. I always try and like people do that. But regardless, it was still a pretty nice Chem Strike, and it's Drop Zone, which is okay. And here's a question, though. Is Drop Zone making a return? We've seen hide nor hair of Drop Zone. We've seen hide nor hair of anything like Infected. We've never seen anything like Gun Game or any of the other party games that we had during the Black Ops series. I wonder if we're going to have those in Advanced Warfare. But regardless, that was a pretty nice overall Chem Strike. It was definitely awesome. A bunch of clutch moments throughout the entirety of the video where he's sitting there dodging trendy rockets, and he's sitting there just taking everyone out, using probably the worst gun in the game. Very nice overall Chem Strike. I applaud you, Mr. Friendly Machine. I just wish you and your team would have won the match. I like winning. I like when people win. I don't know. I know some people don't really care that much, but I really like it when people win. But regardless, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of Chem Strike Saturday. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And if you guys like to send in your guys' Chem Strike for next week's episode of Chem Strike Saturday, everything you guys need to see is on your screen right now. Everything. Seriously, look at it right there. No commentary, no color correction. Render your video out at a very nice quality. Upload to YouTube as unlisted. Link me via personal message here on YouTube. And then congratulations, you have submitted your video for next week's episode of Chem Strike Saturday. Keep in mind, all of you fine, lovely people out there, that I cannot see private videos. A lot of people have been sending me private videos as of late, and I can't see those. Once again, how YouTube works, a public video can be viewed by anybody. A private video can only be viewed by the uploader. An unlisted video can be viewed by anybody that has a link to it. So it's basically like a linkable private video is what unlisted is. So I need you guys to upload your videos as unlisted and link me to them rather than uploading them as private, which is making it so I can't view your guys' videos. So keep that in mind when you're submitting your stuff. If you guys like to go ahead and check out the Friendly Machine, so he is a returning guest here on Chem Strike Saturday, having been on the show once before. And if you do go over and check out his YouTube channel, it is youtube.com/thefriendlymachine, and you're going to find 23 videos. He doesn't upload like a ton. Like, if you look at the time he started his YouTube channel compared to like the number of videos, he doesn't have like a ton of videos, but as of late, he's been uploading pretty frequently. Not daily, but pretty frequently, and that's because the gameplays that he puts up are actually very, very nice gameplays. And in fact, he actually has his own Chem Strike Saturday series, similar to this one, except all the Chem Strikes are actually done by him. I think he's 8 episodes or so into that series so far, so he's worth a look if you guys haven't checked him out already. He once again has been on Chem Strike Saturday once before. You guys may have checked him out back then. And here's kind of a little reminder. It's like, hey, you guys can go ahead and check him out again because he's got a pretty good YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.